Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi. Hello. And our energy mantra for today is I allow myself to become intimate with the light and the dark and the cycles of death and life. And we have the sun moving into Scorpio today. Welcome to Scorpio season. And I just have to start off by saying, I asked Joe, I was like, what do you think? What do you feel with this? What do you feel with Scorpio season? And I really love what he had to say because it really breaks down one level of that Scorpio energy. And he said, be wary not to lash out at people during Scorpio time because Scorpio energy can see, sense, feel weaknesses, and it's to help people, not to hurt people. So be very aware of that during the Scorpio season because the veils are thinner. We all go into a heightened sense. We all have Scorpio somewhere in our chart, and so we all have the ability to tap into, tune into, utilize this energy. So very good. That being said, let me dive into our last aspect that we have before the sun moves into Scorpio. So the last thing that we have is a lunar connection, moon finishing up in Leo, connecting to Mercury. And Mercury is connected to Pallas. So this actually is a Scorpio aspect because Mercury is in Scorpio. Pallas is in Scorpio. Pallas can represent I say daddy issues, but really it is patriarchal issues. Issues where we all either carry or feel wounded by patriarchal tendencies, the shadow patriarchal tendencies of this world. So be very aware that there may be some control issues coming up for your inner child. The moon in Leo finishing up in Leo, this is a square. So you may be sensing some control issues or something like some place where you were controlled. Maybe your light was, you were told to tone it down or tune it down or something like that. Your inner child may be feeling that. So if you have some kind of sense of that in the morning before these shifts, spend some time with that and see what would love do? What would creativity do? What would freedom do? How do you balance that energy? Maybe there was a boundary that was needed. Even looking at that, was there a boundary needed? But is there a way to align with myself, align with my truth in this energy? Then, after that, we have both the sun and the moon shifting. So sun moving into Scorpio, 10:20 a.m. Pacific time. The moon, by the way, is going to shift at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. So we're definitely going to be feeling a little wonky in the morning or afternoon, depending where you live. Between void, of course, moon, the sun shifting. When planets shift, we do feel it. It's like airplane layovers. It's the closest thing I can feel. There's still forward movement, but it's like, well, not really going exactly where I need to be going, but I'm kind of in the process of it right now. So just be aware of that. If you're feeling the wonk, chances are it has to do with that. So, sun in Scorpio. Sun in Scorpio is so important. I really do feel like the energy between Scorpio and Sagittarius is where we come into our abilities to alchemize. Scorpio energy is ruled by Mars and Pluto, and Scorpio really can transform us and empower us to our most empowered light selves, but it is not without facing the shadows, not without facing the darkness. I had a really interesting realization today. I've always loved the shape, the Ouroboros, which is like a snake eating its tail or a dragon eating its tail, of the endlessness of cycles. I think sometimes we're like, okay, we have this one life, or we have this one life and then we have this other life. And really, it is these endless cycles. And when we can embody the energy of the phoenix, knowing that it's not like you die in this life and then clean slate for any other lifetime. Like, these energies go on and on and on. And I was thinking about that with the earth. It was actually a picture of the earth that inspired it. I saw a picture of the earth, you know, littered with the trash and all of the plastic. And I was like, oh, ouch, this is a lot. And I was like, sometimes I just think we just all need to start over. And I realized there is no real start over. As all of these cycles, these spirals keep continuing, we have to deal with the shadows of what we've created. We have to deal with the shadows of lifetimes, of our family patterns that have been put into play with us. We have to take that responsibility for what we've done to ourselves, to others, to the earth. And so that's where that Phoenix energy, that's where that empowerment comes into play. But we get to get intimate with it. And instead of shaming ourselves, looking at it realistically. And I love that we have this moon in Virgo to bring a realistic look. Meanwhile, there is that energy of not being daunted by this, you know, like trusting the process, trusting that this is all part of what we're meant to go through. And how do you be empowered? Like, this is what we've done and this is where we're going. So, Sun in Scorpio. Some other energies around Scorpio. Scorpio always has a reputation for sexual energy, but that's, again, part of the shadows and the light of being human. So the willingness to be intimate, to acknowledge those parts of yourself, I think that's the word. Like, that's really the key word, I feel like, for Scorpio this season, is the willingness to be intimate. We're going to be going through a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. If you don't, you know, want to face your shadows, they are going to be trick-or-treating. They will be like, hello, do you have some candy? And meanwhile, you've been served. So really, it is a time to get intimate with things that may make you uncomfortable, and realizing you don't have to give that negative power through the discomfort, that we can find our power and our light in moving through and into these energies. There's always some energy of control that goes on with Scorpio energies, as it's ruled by that Mars-Pluto thing. So being very aware of that. Paranoia, that's another energy to be very aware of during Scorpio time, because paranoia can definitely spike. And again, with this retrograde, you may find that. How do you become realistic? And how, again, do you take back your power in and through this energy? Scorpio energy, too, because it's willing to go there, can be so extremely psychic. And this is very much a time of the thinning of the veils. So be very aware of that. It's a good time for setting boundaries. Do you need to, I don't want to say protect yourself, but shield yourself from energies? And again, even if you're shielding yourself from energies, what is that? Are you willing to investigate? What is it that may make you susceptible to energies? Tuning into these things. All right, so Scorpio energy, nothing to be afraid of, but it's definitely got some lessons for us. It's definitely going to pack a punch. And again, I'm going to just say that I feel like it's very necessary to go through these energies at this time to prepare us for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that is going to be happening at the beginning of the year, because holy cow, it's potent. All right, Moon into Virgo. Moon into Virgo brings our attention to our daily reality. Being present, that is a power in and of itself. One of the cards that I do have for this day is the Clinging to the Past card. If you are in the past, you are not in the present. If you are in the future, you are not in the present. How do you keep moving yourself back to the present? I wish I had the Totality card. And it's not to say that you can't learn from the past. What if the past is popping up? If there are energies popping up, if you're feeling like rah about anything, that was a growl, then this is an opportunity to do some healing. This is an opportunity to do some digging. This is an opportunity for you to take your power back. Back to Moon in Virgo. Sorry, still Still working through this lung infection stuff. Moon in Virgo energy. Watch the control stuff coming up between the Scorpio and the Virgo energies. You may feel that coming up. Again, how can you be present and trusting in the moment? How do you not get stuck in these control patterns? We all have them. Awareness of them is definitely key. Also, looking to your physical body and what your physical body needs will be very supportive with this Moon in Virgo energy. There may be purging. You know, I always love when I get sick to look up in a book, like, what does this mean? And the cough, you know, the cough, lung stuff can represent grief. And I feel like moving from that place, it brought up some of the grief from my last 2 moves that I've had to make. So, you know, pay attention to your body and what it's trying to tell you. That's a good way to be in your power and be in the present. The sun and the moon will be connecting. Again, watch your control issues. But again, how can you empower yourself? Here's one of the things. If you're finding yourself needing to control stuff, it means that you really don't actually feel like you're in power. When you're in power, you are free. When you are not in your power, we try to hold on. We grab the reins even tighter. So be very aware of that feeling. We end the day with the moon connecting to Uranus. Virgo. Uranus in Taurus energies. There may be some changes going on in your daily reality. Oh my God, we need some changes. We're still trying to unpack it. I'm so slow, not doing stuff. But what are the changes that are needed right now? And this could be major based on some of the Scorpio stuff that's already going to be rising to the surface. So be very aware. The changes may seem little and subtle, but they could end up being more pronounced, more significant for you in the future. Anyways, this was longer than I thought it was going to be. I want to end. I got these archetype cards. I'm itching to play with them. I love them. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I pulled the Pilgrim card. And what I really like, sorry, I'm sitting so close to the computer right now. The Pilgrim card, I really like what it says in here. We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? This is a place to get intimate with yourself at this time. What is the obstacle between you and the door? What's stopping you? There's a lot of shadows a lot of times that we need to face around what is stopping us. Even if it's just the shadow around surrender and how scary that can be. So the Pilgrim is going to be walking us through this Scorpio motion, Scorpio season. So that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. I am going to very soon be releasing my 2020 readings. Oh my goodness. And readings for the eclipses that are coming up. We have our first eclipse coming in December. So, yeah. So you can always reach out to me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, you have the power. The better it gets, even through these challenges. And there's more than enough love in the world for you, and keep remembering that and letting that pull you through those places that feel like the eye of the needle. Namaste.